miss, but it's all good. All those days I didn't sleep, so I rolled a couple spliffs. Take my shot and I don't miss, yeah, it's all good. Everybody wanna talk about what I can do. They don't really give a fuck about what I can do. Work and pay the bills, that's just what the man do. Steal your kids, bad presidents, that's what the man do. I don't drink, man, I just smoke, but tonight I'm doing both. Damn, this life will take a toll, rolling stone tomorrow. I usually smoke and then I go. Got these baggies on the floor, got these people at my door, and it's all good. There were days I didn't eat, cause I had to feed my kids. Shawty always wanted this, but it's all good. All those days I didn't sleep, so I roll a couple splits. Take my shot and I don't miss, yeah, it's all good. There were days I didn't eat, cause I had to feed my kids. Shawty always wanted this, but it's all good. All those days I didn't sleep, so I roll a couple splits. Take my shot and I don't miss, yeah, it's all good. Working ain't enough, so I got a plug too. Hit my plug while haters showing love too. I stay off the drugs, but I do what I want to. I am not a thug, but I'll thug if I want to. All I want is love, but that's probably hard too. She don't give a fuck, I do everything that she want to. Goddamn, goddamn. Wake up in the morning, gotta weigh a couple grams. This dress, so I'm calling them Germans. Can't stop my shine cause I'm way too determined. Bitches a rat like a mummy, a turban. One thing for certain, pockets ain't hurting. But if you dare, I'ma cut up like surgeons. Folks say I really deserve. Call me Kakarot. I was down, but I bounced back. Thought I landed on a mattress. Stick to the green like the thorns to a cactus. Get in between and we closing your cast. I got a couple of plays lined up for the day like a gym. You could catch me in traffic. Special delivery, I got the package from my assembly just for the baggage. Say I'm hot as a furnace. Niggas is dressed, so I'm calling them Germans. Can't stop my shine cause I'm way too determined. Bitches a rat like a mummy, a turban. One thing for certain, pockets ain't hurting. But if you dare, I'ma cut up like surgeons. Folks say I really deserve it. Only a hater would think I ain't earned it. Hot like a skillet, she yours, but for now, bitches. Speed limit 30, I'm not in a hurry, but I drive like I'm on a. I'm with the money, yeah, you with the dummies. At birds of a feather, y'all daffy duck. Value just multiply, minus the other. Got snakes sake for me, just ain't that enough. Past niggas, stayed in my lane, now my bag bigger. Don't share my blunt with no ass kisses. Invest in myself, you a bad spinner. She a wreck from the way that I crack shit. Follow intuition, ain't intuition. Fucking intermission, bitch, we in a mission. Life's a trip, so I microdose, always in the mix. Yeah, I been a chemist. I be low, if she broke, then it's adios. And the context is Danny Phantom. I asked her why, she said cause I be ghost. It's counted out, now I'm infinite. I was broke, that ain't keep me limited. I was down bad.
Make sure to tap in with W on IG, W everywhere. You can find them under the WDUBEU. It's pronounced like the letter. Major shout out, thank you W for throwing one of my favorites into the mix, into rotation. It was called Kakarot. I want to give a quick just summary of sorts. We've been talking about Googling it. We've been talking about all the information that we really do have a wide access and vast access, quick access, fast access, whatever it is that you want to, whatever you're doing with it. I really do think we're in a season of high plays being made. Like some of the accomplishments I've been able to like view or be a part of the information or hearing it, even sharing some of the celebrations with people. I think people are pushing each other to consistently show up, like you know, be an example that it can be done. I feel like that, at least in my circle. Like hopefully you guys are putting yourself around people that are helping you with guidance, clarification, direction. If you get a good supporting cast, which is dire important, sometimes I think we're in a good place and we show up and we compete for each other, not with each other but for each other. Like we don't want to let each other down, and we are the first person, but your supporting cast is good too. If you get a chance to Google it, just want to give you my favorite. If you run across Michael Todd transformation series, it really will snatch you through the YouTube, right? It'll snatch you right through the screen. You walk around feeling called out, but then called too, right? Knocked down, but then picked up for at least how I've taken the series and the conversations with Michael Todd. Whatever play is ahead, I feel like something over there may give you a good spark or boost. So if I was to say something that I ran up on just kind of Googling and searching around, and it was a few years ago, but Michael Todd, I think that there's some truth and seriousness and really passing along what are you finding in information that's been helping you become a better person.
Yes.
So if nothing else, Google it. All right, we're going to switch over and get into some news you can use. Let's start with a sponsor reading from Quinn Boutique.
Hey ladies, it's the owner of Quinn Boutique. Are you ladies in a shopping mood and want to revamp your closet? Are you going on vacation and looking for the baddest heel to step out in? Or is it ladies night and you and your girls are looking for the flyest handbags? Well, look no further, ladies. Quinn Boutique, we got you covered. Come and shop with us to complete your look. Visit us online at quinsboutique.com. Check us out on IG at Quins_Boutique, and also coming soon to What Dress Code Boutique.
All right, we might as well jump into the news, you guys. I intentionally didn't want to start with this news because I'm sure you've been hearing so much about it. This one took me back. My entire, I would say, background is in education. Outside of joining the healthcare industry maybe almost 4 years ago, I've done everything in education, and it's weird to understand the repair that will have to take place for that school, that community, the people around Texas, just the people around the nation that had to just try and make sense of that. I couldn't imagine. Our prayers really do go out to the Uvalde family, those kids, the elementary kids, everybody, the teachers. I don't even know how to say sorry or anything about that. I saw all the trolling on this and things that are now coming out that are making people angry about what's happening, all the gun control conversations, the mixed emotions of does gun control even help in this scenario? It's been a lot.
It's a lot.
I honestly just really wanting my condolences go out to that community, that those families, those parents who had to hear about their children in this way after just sending them to school. And for us, school, the last day was today. Could you imagine as a parent just sending your students to school the last week of school, and this is the outcome? And I'm talking baby. So I'm just saddened by that. So to get my piece out, really condolences to the Uvalde family there.
Definitely. Just to piggyback off of that, parents, you send your kids to school just thinking that it's a safe place for them. So to have things like this happen, it's sad, it's scary. I'm a mother, so I think about mine all the time. It's horrible. Horrible. I did see in the news that there are 2 funeral homes in Texas that will not be charging any of the parents for funerals.
That's good news. I didn't see that. That's perfect.
Yeah, that was that.
We'll find those too. We want to shout those out. Make some major posts about that, and I'm sure there's been some information. But that's good to hear. You should never have to bury your children. I never want to bury one of my children. I hug my children, kiss them even longer. Of course, when it gets dark like this, but every day, all day, I tell my kids I let them on just because you never know. This world is different. is handling different. We have a lot of people that think they're controlling the outcome, and it's not so. So, what is your take on gun laws? What is your take on what the fight is right now? We've seen the NBA shout out to Steve Kerr, and LeBron James has tapped into the conversation on his opinion, all the way across to governors in Texas stepping in to just compete about what's important right now. Is it power? What is it? How are we maintaining it and helping?
The gun laws, and obviously the gun laws don't apply to all states. Every state, they pretty much do their own thing. But there needs to be something in place where regardless, there needs to be background checks done, firearm training. Like it's kind of hard to even say, because there are a lot more people out here that they're not just going rampant doing crazy things and going to shoot up places. They are really getting firearms for their protection, for their family. They are taking the precautions and doing the gun training classes and safety, CCW, all of that. So it's kind of hard to say what the gun laws should be.
That's my take on it. That's my only struggle with it. Like, you think of, it's a tragedy no matter how you cut it, but when you think of gun restrictions, when you restrict the criminal activity, you restrict much more of the people who are doing what they need to do. Like, I'm an avid believer in you should be able to protect yourself and carry. Absolutely. I think that you should. And the reason why I'm avid in that nature is because I know, who else is carrying. And if I need to be able to protect my family, I have the right to do so, and I will. And part of understanding stricter rules will stop certain people from getting out legally. I come from a place where you send a text for the next hammer and you can get it. There was no application, there was no line, there was no store. You didn't need all that, and it comes loaded. We gonna give you your first round. So I struggle with what will the reform do. I do think that there needs to be some tact in place. I almost looked at it like the process that I went through to get my CCWs, and I've done it now in a couple states. But the process to get the CCWs to me needs to be the process to get a gun, but not at the time that you want to buy a gun. I think that everybody who wants to possess a gun needs to go through a process like a CCW process.
Yeah.
And this is just opinionated talk and conversation, but that process for me here in Nevada, we had to take a day-long class.
Yep.
Just learn about, what are your, what are your accountabilities and
Yep.
what are the rules in the law. But at the same time, you get to practice shooting,
Yep.
get that under your belt too. But there's a background check there. And I think that if you do that part, and when you go in to buy a gun, you also are submitted and under some kind of background investigation or check or whatever it is, that to me can suffice for purchasing. What I'm
Yeah.
saying this for is because as a purchaser, and it's right now, I got my eyes on 2 different weapons I want to go buy. We talked about this earlier, 2 different guns. I don't want to have to pull my, go and get my blood type to get a gun.
Yeah.
Because the same reason why I want one is the reason why you want to make the laws harder for people who are not going to follow the laws to go get a gun if they want one anyways.
Yeah.
So I just struggle with that. I will say that this particular case, this person bought firearms. So I don't know what the background check looked like or process what happened, but
They're saying there was no background check.
there was no background.
There was no
and
background
to me,
check.
I think that that's out of bounds. I don't
Yeah.
think at any time should somebody be able to purchase something like any weapon of that caliber without being background checked. You can't even get a job and work for somebody else without taking a background check. Now you're going to get a gun and be able to protect yourself without us knowing what you really trying to protect yourself from or go
And
harm.
That's them state
in this
governors
case.
and what they
Yeah.
approving for their laws.
And
And
Texas is
Texas
rogue.
I was just about to say they running ragged over
I used to
there.
live in Houston.
Like,
This road, everybody got a gun. That could be one of the reasons why I'm like, listen. A lot of people have a gun, and
Yeah.
I'm one of the people, and I don't want to be a person that's restricted from getting a gun if I need it, but I also don't want people to have free access, like you just gonna go
like
into
you
a
can
store
just
without
go
a
in,
background check.
right? Like you
That's
going to
crazy.
buy a bag of chips.
Yeah,
like,
that's a little crazy.
It's too loose.
It's a lot. Loose.
It's too loose. But again, condolences to the families.
Do you
the
have the
parents.
statistics? I'm sorry. Do you have the numbers? How many of what was the final numbers of?
It was
people
19. It was
kids who died.
21, 2 adults and 19 kids.
Okay. 21,
Yeah.
19 kids. Yeah, that's a tragedy.
They said he locked himself in one of the classrooms and just.
Yeah. You know what? I had a meeting earlier and I put the Uvalde picture up that I created and for this meeting, and I opened up a space for my entire team. I feel like as a leader, I have to give space for people to feel like they can be themselves and talk about what's affecting them, because it essentially will affect work too. But one of my coaches on my team spoke up and said, I really am thinking about those first responders, the people that had to walk in and see that. Like,
Ooh,
you're
Jesus.
a first responder and you're trained to respond, but you still have
Ooh.
mental capacity that you have to take that in. I couldn't imagine walking in on 18 third, fourth, and fifth graders is the report of the age of these students, and that's real. Like, I think the trauma that we share in these moments, the backlash and the hurt that people feel, I'm hoping that we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just about how do we get for the alignment on this, and this is a rough one. This is one that we've not been on the same page. Steve Kerr called out governor, saying that the reason why it's not happening is power on one side. Is so many fires and pots on these fires that I'm just more hopeful that people will take care of themselves, which is one of the reasons why I do think people should be able to carry. Just being checked is appropriate. That's not
Absolutely.
cool at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
In other news, I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all these viruses and things just popping up,
The stings, the stuff.
right? I know y'all have probably heard of monkeypox. It's been around. I've heard of it some years back. It was never really like any outbreaks that ever came to the U.S., but now they are here. So monkeypox is back. Like, what in the is going on, right? So there's
Wear a mask.
wear a mask, right? There's one confirmed case. The article that I read, it said it was one confirmed case in Massachusetts and 4 cases possible cases: New York, Florida, Utah.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all be careful.
Monkeypox.
It looks disgusting.
And we talked about Google it earlier. Get informed sources on the cases and what monkeypox originate from. You'll have one side of the house that's talking about animals and rodents and pests and eating mice and what we've seen with coronavirus around the bats.
Yeah.
And then you have situations where it talks about people and sexual intercourse and how it's passed. Be informed, not engaged, because if this does spread, and I mean in a rapid way that we haven't even seen chickenpox in years, you know,
man, chickenpox just vanished.
Right. So if you think about something that pops up that's even similar in the seriousness of monkeypox, they're not the same. Check them out.
They're not.
I was just more or less saying to see something like that rise is going to be different for you, and I think that can invoke a lot of fear if you don't understand what it is, how you treat yourself, because monkeypox is not something that's just like easily passed. Not traditionally, right? It's not. If that was the case, we would continue to be seeing it and giving it. It's not easily passed. So not that we shouldn't be alerted or nervous, because I'm always alerted when some new pop up and it's got our attention. I'm paying attention to. But protecting yourself and understanding how this works from real sources makes sense. I just want to be mindful of that. Monkeypox is. Don't believe all the hype of how it spreads. I think we got to don't start to call it the Chinese flu, and for other words like Trump's just, I think they are making it about men and men's sexual practices that I struggle with. Like if it's coming out that way, you know, let the world know I'm safe.
They said that's one way it can be passed, but it's not like an STD.
Yeah, don't put that up as the reason why it's coming across now, because we know that, you know, taking in mice and bats and all that kind of stuff has been the issue thus far. So is it in our food? Is it in our meat? Is it in what is it? And don't put it off on homosexuals or LGBT communities, men, and you know having sex with men, because let's find out where it's coming from. And I'm just encouraging you guys to be informed, not engaged.
Absolutely. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah. I before we wrap it up, you got another one? I want to make sure we get our shout outs in to follow us. And what else you got to news? No, go ahead. You sound like you got something good over there. You said you want to.
No.
What you going to talk about, Riri? Who you want to talk about? Because I know you want to talk about Riri. She want to talk about Riri. Let me be quiet and let Riri come on across. This is a Productive Vibe Entertainment Media. You can find it right here in Quinn. Shoutique has committed to finishing your look and bringing you news you can use. You like that commercial? Hey. All right, what Riri doing? Let's talk about Riri.
Well, y'all know she had her baby, her and A$AP Rocky. They had a boy. A few weeks ago, she kind of just went hiatus for a little bit. She ain't been posting for a while. You ain't been seeing them pregnancy pics and them popping fits, right? So her and A$AP Rocky had their baby. I also saw in the news that they are planning to relocate to Barbados to raise their son. They are planning to be here for the first 3 months, and then they are going to go back to Barbados. Her and A$AP Rocky, they have family there, which is dope. I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know. She stated in the article she wants to raise her child in freedom. She don't want, you know, all the media and things like that to be around. She wants her child to have a normal life like she did and what she experienced. So,
and that's realistic. I like that. Congratulations to them. I like A$AP Rocky and Rihanna for each other. I'm glad they had their baby healthy. I'm even one that I feel like I don't have to raise my kids here. I don't even have to live in America. And I've thought about it long and hard. And eventually one day,
the way our positions are,
we may have to get up out of here. I do want to just thank you guys for vibing with us. It's been a vibe productively. If you haven't, you can listen to it. It's called Google It. And really just Google it. Just get involved in the information that you're involving yourself in. Don't forget the time management challenge. See what your screen time really looks like. If nothing else, you know how to find Quinn Shoutique. It's Quinn_Shoutique. You can find me at One Classic Vibe. Connect with the studios at nextplay.ent. We are on IG. You guys, until next time, vibe productively.
Deuces.